So once you've recorded the main part of your podcast, you might decide that you also want to go back and clean it up a little bit. Like maybe there's a few places where you stuttered or you repeated yourself or where you stalled or you went too quickly and you want to just go back and make it a little bit better. Here's where I started on the main part of my podcast. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Pressing the plus key. Here we go. Let's have a listen.
And this is just a demo, so I'm just showing you that, for example, this is where the main podcast content would go.
Okay, I rambled a little bit at the very start. I don't think I want that anymore. I'd rather have it just start off at
This is where.
So if I zoom in even tighter, I'll see that starts right here.
This is where.
Okay, perfect. So we can go back, grab our razor, cut here, grab the move tool, and I can literally click on this section that I didn't want and hit delete, and it'll disappear. And now my clip just starts right there.
This is where.
If I zoom out to the main podcast though, because I deleted a section, now I've created this big empty gap. I want to close that gap, so I want to actually pull everything down. To do that, once I've got the move selection tool, I can literally kind of click and drag to select everything and then slide everything down. And that closed the gap nicely. Now let me go back and check again the main part of my podcast. Zooming in with the plus key. Zooming in here again.
This is where the main podcast content would go. I'd continue talking, laughing, sharing.
Okay, there's a big gap here. I think that's maybe more than I really want. So I'm going to do something similar and actually grab the razor tool, cut that section, go back and grab the move tool, select here. And what I can do is go back to the full screen, select everything, and drag it down. I want to be really precise, so I'm going to zoom in just to make sure I'm happy with how that lines up. Okay, that looks good. Let's have a listen.
Laughing, sharing jokes and stories, whatever's meant to be here. And then when I'm done recording what I want to record, I'll press stop.
Perfect. I'm probably going to trim the end of his back a little bit. And if I wanted to actually leave more space, then what I could do, in fact, is use the razor tool to cut and then use the move tool to push something a little bit later. Now, if I did that, what's going to happen is there's going to be this empty space in between, which is okay, but usually when I record my voice in a room, the sound of the room is also part of what I hear in the back of the clip. And so I want to find the sound of just that sound of the room and put it here to fill the gap. So let's go back and find a little piece of the sound of the room. Here we're going to grab this using the razor tool. With the move tool, we're going to select it and then go to edit, copy. And then because I've got a blank track down here where I would have normally put the interview, I'm going to make use of that. Use my playhead to line this up. And then I'm going to go and click edit, paste. And you can see now that it's dropped that sound of the room, or what we call room tone, in the gap. If I go in a little closer, I can see that hasn't quite filled it up. So let me just try stretching that out a little bit. That still looks good. Perfect. So now I've given you a way to play around with the pacing of your piece, making things a little bit faster, a little bit slower, deleting things that you don't want. And if you want, even, moving things into a different order, you literally can just click and drag and move it to a different part of the timeline.